Oscar De La Hoya, born February 4, 1973, is an American boxing promoter and former professional boxer who competed from 1992 to 2008. His accolades include winning 11 world titles in 6 weight classes, including lineal championships in 3 weight classes. De La Hoya was nicknamed the Golden Boy of Boxing by the media when he represented the United States at the 1992 Summer Olympics, where, shortly after having graduated from James A. Garfield High School, he won a gold medal in the lightweight division. He is regarded as one of the greatest boxers of all time and is ranked the 16th greatest boxer by BoxRec. De La Hoya was named the Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year in 1995 and was its top-rated fighter in the world, pound for pound, in 1997 and 1998. De La Hoya generated approximately $700 million in pay-per-view income, making him the top pay-per-view earner before being surpassed by Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao. He announced his retirement as a fighter in 2009, following a professional career spanning 16 years. In 2002, De La Hoya founded Golden Boy Promotions, a combat sport promotional firm that also owns a 25% stake in the Houston Dynamo. He is the first American of Mexican descent to own a national boxing promotional firm and one of the few boxers to take on promotional responsibilities while still active. In 2018, he began promoting MMA matches as well, beginning with a 2018 trilogy bout between longtime rivals Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz, with the inaugural Golden Boy MMA event taking place on November 24, 2018. De La Hoya has held dual American and Mexican citizenship since 2002, when the Consulate General of Mexico in Los Angeles granted him Mexican citizenship, reflecting his heritage. Early life. He was born in East Los Angeles, California, into a boxing family. His grandfather, Vicente, was an amateur fighter during the 1940s, and his father, Joel Sr., had been a professional boxer during the 1960s. His brother, Joel Jr., was also a boxer. De La Hoya graduated from Garfield High School in East Los Angeles, California, in 1991. Amateur career. De La Hoya won the National Junior Olympics 119-pound title at age 15. After he lost a tournament in Whittier to Leon Hernandez from Santa Monica, he won the 125-pound title the following year. His amateur career included 234 wins, 163 by knockout. 2 were to Shane Mosley. In 1989, he won the National Golden Gloves title in the bantamweight division. In 1990, at age 17, he won the U.S. National Championship at featherweight and was the youngest U.S. boxer at that year's Goodwill Games, winning a gold medal. The joy of victory was tempered by the news that his mother, Cecilia Gonzalez de la Hoya, November 22, 1950, October 28, 1990, was terminally ill with breast cancer. She died that October, expressing the hope that her son would one day become an Olympic gold medalist. As the 1992 Summer Olympics in Barcelona approached, De La Hoya turned his mother's dream into a strong focus for his training. After an upset victory in the first round over the Cuban boxer Julio Gonzalez, De La Hoya defeated German boxer Marco Rudolph to win the gold medal. Rudolph had been the only fighter to defeat him in the years leading up to the fight, adding drama. The U.S. media publicized his quest to fulfill his mother's dying wish and nicknamed him the Golden Boy, which has remained with him throughout his career. In 2000, the Cecilia Gonzalez de la Hoya Cancer Center was formally opened by De La Hoya and his siblings at the White Memorial Medical Center, WMMC, with a $350,000 donation from De La Hoya in honor of their mother. Highlights: amateur record, 2:23.5, unofficial, citation needed. First place, gold medalist, 1989 National Golden Gloves, 57 kilograms, May, Knoxville, Tennessee. Finals, defeated Ivan Robinson, United States by split decision, 3-2. First place, gold medalist, 1990 U.S. National Championships, 57 kilograms, February, Colorado Springs, Colorado. 1 quarter, defeated Julian Wheeler by unanimous decision, 5-0. A half, defeated Santander Lewis Rectel 1. Finals, defeated Ivan Robinson by majority decision, 4-1. First place gold medalist, winner 1990 United States Olympic Cup 57 kilograms, June, Salt Palace Exhibition Hall, Salt Lake City, Utah. Defeated Kirkor Kirkorov, Bulgaria by split decision 2-1. First place gold medalist, 1990 Goodwill Games 57 kilograms, July, August, Seattle, Washington. 1-4, defeated Lee Sang-hun, South Korea, RSC 3. 1/2, defeated Arat Kamatov, Soviet Union by majority decision 4-1. Finals, defeated Ivan Robinson, United States by majority decision 4-1. First place, gold medalist, 1991 U.S. National Championships 60 kilograms, February, March, Colorado Springs, Colorado. 1/4, defeated Rogelio Cabral by unanimous decision 5-0. 1/2, defeated Teddy Randolph by unanimous decision 5-0. Finals, defeated Patrice Brooks by unanimous decision 5-0. First place, gold medalist, 1991 U.S. Olympic Festival 60 kilograms, July, The Forum, Los Angeles, California. 1/2, defeated Desi Ford on points 37-6. Finals, defeated Patrice Brooks on points 44-15. Participant, 1991 World Championships 60 kilograms, November State Sports Center, Sydney, Australia. 1/8, lost to Marco Rudolph, Germany on points 13-17. First place, gold medalist, 1992 Olympic Games 60 kilograms, July, August, Palau dels Esports, Barcelona, Spain. 1/16, defeated Adelson Rosa Silva, Brazil, RSC 3. 1/8, defeated Moses Odian, Nigeria on points 16-4. 1/4, defeated Toncho Tonchev, Bulgaria on points 16-7. 1/2, defeated Hong Sung-sik, South Korea on points 11-10. Finals, defeated Marco Rudolph, Germany on points 7-2. 2008 United States Olympic Hall of Fame inductee, 20. Professional career. Super featherweight. On November 23, 1992, De La Hoya made his professional debut by scoring a first-round KO victory over Lamar Williams in 1 minute 42 seconds. De La Hoya versus Concepcion cancellation. De La Hoya was scheduled to fight Jesus Vidal Concepcion in a 10-round junior lightweight bout on December 9, 1993, televised by ESPN's Thursday Night Fights at the Paramount Theater in New York City, but pulled out due to a wrist injury. Some found the injury suspicious and speculated that Oscar was being overdramatic. Oscar said that he aggravated an old ligament injury while hitting the heavy bag a week before. Later that month, De La Hoya would fire his co-managers Middleman and Nelson over money issues. First title shot in defense. Main articles: Jimmy Bradall versus Oscar De La Hoya and Oscar De La Hoya versus Giorgio Campanella. In his 12th professional fight, he won his first world title at age 20, stopping Jimmy Bradall 16-0 in the 10th round to win the WBO junior lightweight title. He defended the title once, stopping Giorgio Campanella 20-0 in 3 rounds. Lightweight. Main articles: Oscar De La Hoya versus Jorge Paez, Oscar De La Hoya versus Carl Griffith, Oscar De La Hoya versus John Avila, and Oscar De La Hoya versus John Molina. On July 29, 1994, he knocked out Jorge Paez 53-6-4 in the second round to win the vacant WBO lightweight title. He would successfully defend the title twice to close 1994, defeating fringe contenders Carl Griffith and John Avila, both by technical knockout. In February 1995, he defeated John Molina 36-3, who had recently vacated his IBF super featherweight title by unanimous decision. De La Hoya versus Ruelas unification. Main article: Oscar De La Hoya versus Rafael Ruelas. On May 6, 1995, De La Hoya defeated IBF lightweight champion Rafael Ruelas 43-10 in a unification bout. De La Hoya knocked Ruelas down twice before the fight was stopped in the second round. The IBF then ordered De La Hoya to defend against Miguel Julio. De La Hoya versus Hernandez. Main article: Oscar De La Hoya versus Genaro Hernandez. He relinquished the IBF title and defended the WBO title against undefeated Genaro Hernandez 32-01, who relinquished the WBA super featherweight title to fight De La Hoya. De La Hoya versus Leija. Main article: Oscar De La Hoya versus Jesse James Leija. Hernandez quit after 6 rounds because of a broken nose. In his sixth and final defense of the WBO lightweight title, he knocked out Jesse James Liga 30-1-2 in 2 rounds at New York's Madison Square Garden. Light welterweight.
Chavez versus De La Hoya.
Main article, Julio Cesar Chavez versus Oscar De La Hoya. On June 7, 1996, Oscar De La Hoya fought Mexican legend Julio Cesar Chavez 96-101 for the lineal and WBC light welterweight championship. De La Hoya, with a record of 21-0 with 19 KOs, defeated Chavez by a 4th-round TKO. The fight was stopped due to several bad cuts suffered by Chavez above his left eye. Until their rematch in 1998, Chavez stated that De La Hoya did not defeat him since the fight was stopped.
De La Hoya versus Gonzalez.
Main article, Oscar De La Hoya versus Miguel Angel Gonzalez. De La Hoya successfully defended his titles with a 12-round unanimous decision against undefeated former WBC lightweight champion and #1 light welterweight contender Miguel Angel Gonzalez 41-0-0. Welterweight, Whitaker versus De La Hoya. Main article, Pernell Whitaker versus Oscar De La Hoya. In 1997, De La Hoya moved up to the welterweight division and fought Pernell Whitaker 40-1-1. The fight proved to be a difficult one. Whitaker frustrated De La Hoya with his defense and landed more overall shots than De La Hoya, but De La Hoya's power punches and aggression swayed the judges more in his favor. De La Hoya won a 12-round unanimous decision to capture the lineal and WBC titles. He also became the Ring Magazine's #1 ranked pound-for-pound fighter.
De La Hoya versus Kamau.
Main article, Oscar De La Hoya versus David Kamau. On June 14, 1997, De La Hoya made the first successful defense of his WBC welterweight title, defeating David Kamau by 2nd-round KO.
De La Hoya versus Camacho.
Main article, Oscar De La Hoya versus Hector Camacho. On September 13, 1997, De La Hoya defeated Hector Camacho 63-1 by unanimous decision.
De La Hoya versus Rivera.
Main article, Oscar De La Hoya versus Wilfredo Rivera. On December 6, 1997, De La Hoya defeated Wilfredo Rivera by 8th-round TKO.
De La Hoya versus Charpentier.
Main article, Oscar De La Hoya versus Patrick Charpentier. On June 13, 1998, De La Hoya defeated mandatory challenger Patrick Charpentier by 3rd-round TKO.
De La Hoya versus Chavez non-tercero Indorsal 1.
Main article, Oscar De La Hoya versus Julio Cesar Chavez II. On September 18, 1998, De La Hoya fought a rematch with Julio Cesar Chavez 100-2-2 and defeated him by 8th-round TKO.
De La Hoya versus Quarty.
Main articles, Oscar De La Hoya versus Ike Quarty and Oscar De La Hoya versus Obakar. In his next bout, he faced undefeated former WBA welterweight champion Ike Quarty 34-0+1 and won by a somewhat disputable split decision. De La Hoya was knocked down once in the fight, while Quarty was down twice. He then defeated Obakar 48-1 by 11th-round TKO.
De La Hoya versus Trinidad Unification.
Main article, Oscar De La Hoya versus Felix Trinidad. After 7 defenses of his lineal and WBC welterweight titles, De La Hoya fought rival and IBF champion Felix Trinidad 35-0 on September 18, 1999, in one of the biggest pay-per-view events in history, setting a record for a non-heavyweight fight. De La Hoya stayed just outside Trinidad's range while generating much success with his stiff jab and blitzing combinations, but in the last 2 to 3 rounds of the fight, heeding the strict instructions of his corner, who felt that De La Hoya was way ahead on the scorecards, De La Hoya shut down much of his offense and evaded trading with Trinidad. De La Hoya virtually gave away the last couple of rounds. Though landing well over 100 more punches, Trinidad was ultimately awarded a majority decision. The judges' scorecards came under question after the decision. Fans and boxing analysts called for a rematch, which never happened. De La Hoya versus opponents. Main articles, Oscar De La Hoya versus Daryl Coley, Oscar De La Hoya versus Shane Mosley, and Oscar De La Hoya versus Arturo Gatti. On February 26, 2000, De La Hoya knocked out Daryl Coley 34-1-2 in a WBC eliminator. The WBC later awarded De La Hoya its welterweight title after Trinidad vacated it, which he lost to Shane Mosley 34-0 by a split decision on June 17, 2000. One judge scored the fight 115-113 for De La Hoya, and the other two scored it 116-112 and 115-113 for Mosley. De La Hoya successfully sued Bob Arum in 2000 to break his contract with the promoter. The courts ruled in favor of De La Hoya in February 2001. De La Hoya defeated Arturo Gatti 33-4 by 5th round TKO on March 24, 2001. Light middleweight. He then moved up to light middleweight, challenging the lineal and WBC champion Javier Castillejo. De La Hoya won the fight, winning almost every round and knocking Castillejo 51-4 down with 10 seconds to go to win the title by a unanimous decision. De La Hoya vs. Karmazin cancellation. On October 8, 2001, it was announced that De La Hoya would return to the Grand Olympic Auditorium, where he won his first title, to defend his WBC light middleweight championship against the WBC #1 challenger Roman Karmazin. But on November 8, 2001, it was announced the fight was canceled. Suffering from a torn cartilage in his left wrist, De La Hoya has been forced to cancel his December 8th title defense. He was hoping to fight again on May 4th, a date he had already reserved before the injury. It was an old injury, one that De La Hoya incurred in the first round of his 1999 fight against Oba Carr. "It was from a left hook I threw in that fight," De La Hoya said, "and the pain has been there ever since. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say it was a 5 or 6. 10 days ago, on his first day of sparring for the Karmazin match, De La Hoya threw a punch that severely aggravated the wrist. De La Hoya planned on facing a major opponent in May, Trinidad, Mosley, Hopkins, or Vargas, and says he still hopes to do so if he can get WBC approval to put off his mandatory match. De La Hoya said the hand bothered him in his losses against Trinidad and Mosley. "It was always bothering me," he said, "but we are fighters and we have to tough it out." The fight seemed to have been cursed from the start. When Karmazin's two trainers, his manager and his doctor, were all denied visas, the Russian fighter had threatened to go home to train. Karmazin's promoter, Frank Maloney, went further, questioning whether the fight would happen. Rivalry with Fernando Vargas. Main article: Oscar De La Hoya vs. Fernando Vargas. De La Hoya did not fight for the 15 months, and in this time the rivalry between him and WBA champion ferocious Fernando Vargas, 22, grew. They knew each other as amateurs, and it is said the rivalry began when Vargas was angered by De La Hoya, laughing at him after he fell into a snowbank. De La Hoya said he would never fight him. Eventually, however, De La Hoya accepted a match. The fight was scheduled for May 2002, but De La Hoya had to withdraw because of a hand injury. The unification bout, labeled Bad Blood, finally took place on September 14, 2002, at the Mandalay Bay on the Las Vegas Strip. The fight was even for the first 6 rounds, with Vargas landing punches on the ropes in the odd rounds, while De La Hoya outboxed him in the even rounds. De La Hoya took over the fight in the 7th round and hurt Vargas with a left hook in the 10th. In the next round, De La Hoya knocked Vargas down with a left hook and stopped him moments later. The win is widely considered to be the biggest of De La Hoya's career. Vargas tested positive for stanozolol after the fight.
De La Hoya vs. Mosley so. That is a madrasa texto.
Main articles: Oscar De La Hoya vs. Yuri Boy Campos and Oscar De La Hoya vs. Shane Mosley 2. De La Hoya defended his unified title against Yuri Boy Campos 80-5 with a routine 7th round stoppage, then faced Shane Mosley 38-2 in a rematch. The fight, billed as Retribution and staged at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, was more of a boxing match than their first encounter, and while some rounds were close, De La Hoya's game plan utilizing his jab seemed to be paying off, leaving Mosley visually frustrated. It was De La Hoya who seemed to be landing the cleaner, more effective punches and obliterated Mosley in CompuBox, landing over 100 more. But judges apparently didn't see it that way, awarding Mosley with the controversial unanimous decision. Mosley was later connected to the Balco Labs steroid scandal. Jeff Nowitzki, a lead investigator on the Balco case, reported that documents seized from the lab show that Mosley received the Clear and the Cream, both designer steroids. Mosley reportedly began his doping regimen prior to his rematch with Oscar De La Hoya. Mosley would later admit to using performance-enhancing drugs from Balco for this bout, saying he thought they were legal supplements. Middleweight: Sturm vs. De La Hoya. Main article: Felix Sturm vs. Oscar De La Hoya. De La Hoya next challenged Felix Sturm, 20-0, for the WBO middleweight title on June 5, 2004, with the winner also getting a shot at the undisputed world middleweight champion Bernard Hopkins. De La Hoya was awarded a unanimous decision, becoming the first boxer in history to win world titles in 6 different weight divisions. All 3 judges scored the bout 115 to 113 in favor of De La Hoya. The decision was very controversial, far more so than his decision wins over Pernell Whitaker or Ike Quartey. Whereas the Whitaker and Quartey fights were considered close bouts that could have gone either way or been called a draw, general opinion was that De La Hoya lost to Sturm, with CompuBox counting Sturm as landing 234 of 541 punches, while counting De La Hoya as landing 188 of 792. There had been some rumblings throughout the boxing community already before the fight that a decision would be made to ensure that De La Hoya would fight Hopkins in a mega-dollar fight that would have drawn more money than a Hopkins-Sturm matchup would. Ian Darke of Sky Sports said the decision looked tailor-made to set up De La Hoya versus Hopkins. De La Hoya got the benefit of high charity, Darke said. Sturm and his promotional team, Universum Box Promotion, filed a protest with the Nevada State Athletic Commission over the decision, but it was to no avail, and the decision still stands today. De La Hoya versus Hopkins. Main article: Bernard Hopkins versus Oscar De La Hoya. De La Hoya fought Bernard Hopkins 44-2-1 in a unification match on September 18, 2004 in Las Vegas. Hopkins held the WBC, WBA, and IBF middleweight titles, was recognized as lineal and the ring champion, and was considered by many to be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Although the fight was at a catch weight of 158 pounds, 72 kilograms, many thought De La Hoya was too small for the weight class, and Hopkins was considered a heavy favorite. Several days before the fight, De La Hoya's hand was cut when his wraps were being cut off after training, requiring 11 stitches to close. He and his corner both maintained it was not an issue going into the bout. De La Hoya fought a tactical fight. After 8 rounds, De La Hoya was ahead 77-75 on one scorecard and behind 78-74 and 79-73 on the other 2. In the 9th round, Hopkins threw a left hook towards De La Hoya's body, sending him crumbling to the canvas, where he was counted out. It was the first time in De La Hoya's career that he had been KO'd. De La Hoya later stated that he couldn't get up because the pain of a well-placed liver shot was unbearable. Despite losing, De La Hoya made over $30 million from the fight. Hopkins eventually became a minor shareholder in Golden Boy and served as the East Coast representative for the company. Bob Arum claimed De La Hoya quit. Like Mosley, Hopkins would subsequently be represented by Golden Boy Promotions. Comeback:
De La Hoya versus Mayorga.
Main article: Oscar De La Hoya versus Ricardo Mayorga. De La Hoya took a layoff of 20 months before signing to fight WBC light middleweight title holder Ricardo Mayorga 27-5-1. In the build-up to the fight, Mayorga insulted everything from De La Hoya's sexuality to his wife and child, 43, but when they fought on May 6, 2006, De La Hoya knocked Mayorga down in the first minute of the fight with a left hook. He knocked him out in the 6th round to take his 10th world title. De La Hoya versus Mayweather Jr. Main article: Oscar De La Hoya versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. In early 2007, De La Hoya signed to defend his title against WBC welterweight champion Floyd Mayweather Jr., 37-0-0. De La Hoya was a 2-1 underdog in the fight. The fight took place on May 5, 2007, at a sold-out arena at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. De La Hoya pressed throughout, doing best when using his left jab. Mayweather controlled the later rounds and was awarded a split decision, with Judge Chuck Giampi scoring the bout 116-112 for Mayweather, Jerry Roth 115-113 for Mayweather, and Tom Kaczmarczyk 105-113 for De La Hoya. The Associated Press had it for Mayweather 116 to 112. Although Oscar chased Mayweather and threw many combinations en route to throwing over 100 more total punches, Mayweather landed at a higher rate. According to CompuBox, he connected on 207 of 481 punches thrown, De La Hoya on only 122 of 587. De La Hoya vs. Forbes. Main article, Oscar De La Hoya vs. Steve Forbes. On May 3, 2008, at the Home Depot Center in Carson, California, De La Hoya fought Steve Forbes 33-5 in a tune-up for a possible rematch with Mayweather. De La Hoya showed a more relaxed style, throwing a constant jab and always staying on his toes. He opened a cut near Forbes' eye in the 6th round, going on to win by unanimous decision in 12. On June 6, 2008, Floyd Mayweather Jr. announced his first of many subsequent retirements from boxing, effectively ending talk of a rematch.
De La Hoya vs. Pacquiao.
Main article, Oscar De La Hoya vs. Manny Pacquiao.
De La Hoya en 2008.
De La Hoya faced Manny Pacquiao 47-32 on December 6, 2008 at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Presented by Golden Boy Promotions and Top Rank, Inc., the bout was a 12-round, non-title fight at the 147-pound, 67 kilograms welterweight limit. Although Pacquiao went into the fight recognized as the leading pound-for-pound boxer in the world, some pundits speculated that 147 pounds could have been too far above his natural weight against the larger De La Hoya. However, Pacquiao's trainer Freddie Roach was confident of a victory as he stated that De La Hoya could no longer pull the trigger at that stage of his career. De La Hoya, who was favored to win the bout due to his size advantage, was expected to be the heavier of the two on fight night. However, though Pacquiao weighed 142 pounds, 64 kilograms, and De La Hoya 145 pounds, 66 kilograms, at the official weigh-in on Friday, 49, De La Hoya entered the ring at 147 pounds to Pacquiao's 148.5 pounds, 67.4 kilograms. De La Hoya took a beating, and his corner stopped the fight after the 8th round. Pacquiao was ahead on all 3 judges' scorecards before the stoppage, with 2 judges scoring the fight 80-71, and the other judge scoring it at 79-72. After the bout, Pacquiao's trainer, Freddie Roach, stated, "We knew we had him after the first round. He had no legs, he was hesitant, and he was shot." Confirming Roach's pre-fight predictions that he'd grown too old, De La Hoya crossed the ring to Pacquiao's corner after the bout was stopped and told Roach, "You're right, Freddie. I don't have it anymore." When asked by reporters whether he would continue fighting, De La Hoya responded, "My heart still wants to fight, that's for sure," De La Hoya said. "But when your physical doesn't respond, what can you do? I have to be smart and make sure I think about my future plans." Retirement and proposed comeback. De La Hoya announced his retirement on April 14, 2009, ending any speculation about a potential fight with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., son of the former champion and Mexican icon Julio Cesar Chavez, Sr. 52. Later in 2009, De La Hoya held an exhibition boxing fight versus basketball player Shaquille O'Neal as an episode of the television show Shaq vs. On November 25, 2020, De La Hoya told DAZN that "I'm 90% positive that I'm coming back the first quarter of next year," and that he was open to fighting Gennady Golovkin in a bout. On June 17, 2021, it was announced that De La Hoya would return to the ring in an exhibition bout against Vitor Belfort on September 11, 2021, under the Triller app Fight Club banner. On July 21st, it was announced that the match would not be an exhibition, and instead would be an official boxing match sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. On September 3rd, De La Hoya announced that he would not be fighting Belfort due to contracting COVID-19. In a message to his fans, he stated that he was fully vaccinated and receiving hospital treatment. 2020 presidential candidacy speculation. Main article, 2020 United States presidential election. In September 2018, De La Hoya was reported to be seriously considering a run for president of the United States. In an interview, he informed TMZ that he was assembling an exploratory team to assess the viability of a candidacy, stating that, "If the numbers look right, I'm gonna go for it." Television appearances. In 2021, De La Hoya competed in The Masked Singer spin-off The Masked Dancer as Zebra. He finished in 4th place. In 2025, De La Hoya competed in Season 13 of The Masked Singer as Fuzzy Peas. He was eliminated on Shrek Night. Personal life. De La Hoya began dating actress and Miss USA 1995 title holder Shanna Moakler in October 1997. Moakler and De La Hoya announced their engagement in October 1998. She gave birth to their daughter the following year. Moakler has said, "It wasn't a planned pregnancy, but it was understood if it happened it was beautiful, and if it didn't, that was fine too." In September 2000, the relationship abruptly ended when Moakler, who was at home watching the Latin Grammy Awards on television, saw De La Hoya escorting another woman to the show. In December 2000, Moakler filed a $62.5 million palimony suit against her ex-fiancé, claiming he was an alcoholic, abusive to her and to their daughter, and that he used them as props to promote his public image. The case was settled out of court in 2001 for an undisclosed amount. After the time of De La Hoya's split from Moakler, he had little contact with his daughter, although he continued to provide financial support. On October 5, 2001, De La Hoya married Millie Korecher. They have 3 children together. He also has 2 sons from previous relationships. De La Hoya and Korecher separated in 2016. On December 12, 2002, the Consulate General of Mexico in Los Angeles granted De La Hoya Mexican citizenship. De La Hoya stated, "I've always felt that my blood is Mexican." On September 3, 2021, De La Hoya disclosed that he was raped by a woman when he was 13. He did not disclose the name of the woman, but stated that she was over 35 years of age. Business pursuits and projects. Oscar De La Hoya appears on the front covers of the PS3, Xbox 360, and PSP versions of EA Sports Fight Night Round 3. He previously was a cover athlete on Knockout Kings 99 and Knockout Kings 2001 with Shane Mosley. In 2000, EMI International released Oscar De La Hoya. The self-titled CD is a Latin pop album with 13 tracks in both English and Spanish, written by Diane Warren and the Bee Gees, and was nominated for a Grammy. Also, it was certified platinum, Latin, by the RIAA in June 2006. In 2004, he debuted a line of casual, activewear-inspired apparel through Mervyn's department stores, and that summer hosted a boxing reality television series, The Next Great Champ, on Fox and Fox Sports Net. In 2005, Golden Boy Enterprises announced the formation of Golden Boy Partners, a company focused on urban development in Latino communities. In 2006, De La Hoya authorized a children's picture book titled Super Oscar, published by Simon & Schuster and released in his name. The book was written by Mark Schulman and illustrated by illustrator Lisa Kopelke. The book tells the story of young Oscar as a daydreamer who uses his great physical ability to prepare an elaborate picnic for his entire neighborhood in just 15 minutes. Written in English and Spanish, the book received unanimously positive reviews from the publishing review journals and was selected as the best bilingual children's picture book at the 2007 Latino Book Awards. In September 2007, Sports and Entertainment Publications, LLC, a subsidiary of Golden Boy Enterprises, acquired The Ring, KO Magazine, and World Boxing Magazine from Kappa Publishing Group. On May 1, 2007, the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles announced that a 7-foot, 2.1 meters bronze statue of Oscar De La Hoya would join similar tributes to Los Angeles sports stars Magic Johnson and Wayne Gretzky at the Staples Center. The statue was unveiled on December 2, 2008.
De La Hoya in 2010.
In February 2008, Golden Boy acquired a 25% stake of Major League Soccer club Houston Dynamo, along with Brainer International Group. De La Hoya started a charitable foundation to help educate underprivileged youth, and in 2008 donated $3.5 million to the De La Hoya Animo Charter High School. In June 2008, HarperCollins released De La Hoya's autobiography, American Son, My Story, written with author and Los Angeles Times sports writer Steve Springer. In 2008, De La Hoya starred in a commercial alongside several Mexican boxing champions for the Pronosticos lottery in Mexico. The film 300 inspired the commercial, which featured the Mexican champions battling giants and other large creatures. In early 2011, De La Hoya visited U.S. military personnel in Kuwait and Iraq under the auspices of the USO, holding boxing clinics and greeting the troops. Citation needed. In 2014, De La Hoya was named Promoter of the Year by Sports Illustrated. De La Hoya has spoken about his intention to run for president against Donald Trump in the 2020 election. Legal issues. In 1998, at age 25, he was accused of rape. Mexican authorities investigated with no charges filed, and De La Hoya maintained his innocence. A lawsuit was then filed in San Bernardino, California County Superior Court, alleging that De La Hoya had raped the complainant, who was 15 at the time, in a hotel room in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, in June 1996. The suit was heard and was settled out of court in 2001. In 2022, De La Hoya was sued by a former employee of his tequila brand, Casa Mexico, over allegations that he sexually harassed and assaulted her in 2020. He denied the allegations against him. Cross-dressing controversy. In 2007, photographs featuring a cross-dressed De La Hoya were posted on a tabloid website and received extensive publicity across the internet. De La Hoya denied the authenticity of the photos. In May 2008, Mila Dravnel, the woman who sold the photographs, sued De La Hoya for slander, then dropped the lawsuit after experts suggested that the photographs had been digitally altered. Nonetheless, during De La Hoya's August 2011 interview with Univision, he confirmed that it was indeed him in the leaked 2007 photos, attributing the aberration to poor judgment due to his first use of cocaine. Substance abuse problem. 3 months prior to the cross-dressing controversy, De La Hoya had publicly acknowledged that he had a substance abuse problem, stating, "After doing an honest evaluation of myself, I recognize that there are certain issues that I need to work on. Like everyone, I have my flaws, and I do not want to be one of those people that is afraid to admit and address those flaws." He underwent treatment at the Betty Ford Center in Rancho Mirage, California for alcoholism. In September 2013, just a few days before the Golden Boy promoted match of Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Canelo Alvarez, De La Hoya announced that he was returning to a drug and alcohol treatment facility. In January 2017, De La Hoya was arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol in Pasadena, California, to which he pled not guilty and charges were dismissed in 2018. In 2019, during an investigation of an attempted extortion, he admitted to having used cocaine in early 2018. Professional boxing record. 45 fights, 39 wins, 6 losses. By knockout 32. By decision 9-4. No result, record, opponent, type, round, time, date, location, notes. 45 loss, 39-6. Manny Pacquiao, RTD 8-12-3. Death 6, 2008, MGM Grand Garden Arena, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. 44 win, 39-5. Steve Forbes, UD 12 May 3, 2008, Home Depot Center, Carson, California, U.S. 43 loss, 38-5. Floyd Mayweather Jr., SD 12 May 5, 2007, MGM Grand Garden Arena, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Lost WBC light middleweight title. 42 win, 38-4. Ricardo Mayorga, TKO 6, 12-125, May 6, 2006, MGM Grand Garden Arena, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Won WBC light middleweight title. 41 lost 37-4. Bernard Hopkins KO 9, 12-138. Sep 18, 2004, MGM Grand Garden Arena, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Lost WBO middleweight title. For WBA undisputed WBC, IBF, and the ring middleweight titles. 40 win, 37-3. Felix Sturm, UD 12 June 5th, 2004, MGM Grand Garden Arena, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Won WBO middleweight title. 39 lost 36-3. Shane Mosley, UD. 38 win, 36-2. Your Boy Campus, TKO 7, 12-254. May 3, 2003, Mandalay Bay Events Center, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Retained WBA, Unified, WBC, IBA, and the ring light middleweight titles. 37 win 35-2, Fernando Vargas, TKO 11-12, 148, Sep 14, 2002. Mandalay Bay Event Center, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Retained WBC light middleweight title. Won WBA Unified, IBA, and vacant the ring light middleweight titles. 36 win 34-2, Javier Castillejo, UD 12, June 23, 2001, MGM Grand Garden Arena, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Won WBC light middleweight title. 35 win 33-2, Arturo Gatti, TKO 5-12, 116. March 24, 2001, MGM Grand Garden Arena, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. 34 loss 32-2, Shane Mosley, SD 12, June 17, 2000, Staples Center, Los Angeles, California, U.S. Lost WBC and IBA welterweight titles. 33 win 32-1. Daryl Coley, KO 7-12, 3 Feb 26, 2000, Madison Square Garden, New York City, New York, U.S. One vacant IBA welterweight title. 32 lost 31-1, Felix Trinidad, MD 12, Sep 18, 1999, Mandalay Bay Event Center, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Lost WBC welterweight title. For IBF welterweight title. 31 win 31-0, Obakar, TKO 11-12, 055, May 22, 1999, Mandalay Bay Event Center, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Retained WBC welterweight title. 30 win 30-0, Ike Cordy, SD 12, Feb 13, 1999, Thomas and Mack Center, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Retained WBC welterweight title. 29 win 29-0, Julio Cesar Chavez, RTD 8-12-3, Sep 18, 1998, Thomas and Mack Center, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Retained WBC welterweight title. 28 win 28-0, Patrick Sharpan, TKO 3-12, 156. June 13, 1998, Sun Bowl, El Paso, Texas, U.S. Retained WBC welterweight title. 27 win 27-0, Wilfredo Rivera, TKO 8-12, 248. Death 6, 1997, Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City, New Jersey, U.S. Retained WBC welterweight title. 26 win 26-0, Hector Camacho, UD 12, Sep 13, 1997. Thomas and Mack Center, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Retained WBC welterweight title. 25 win 25-0, David Kamau, KO 2-12, 254, June 14, 1997, Alamodome, San Antonio, Texas, U.S. Retained WBC welterweight title. 24 win 24-0, Pernell Whitaker, UD 12, April 12, 1997, Thomas and Mack Center, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Won WBC welterweight title. 23 win 23-0, Miguel Angel Gonzalez, UD 12, Jan 18, 1997, Thomas and Mack Center, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Retained WBC super lightweight title. 22 win 22, Julio Cesar Chavez, TKO 12, 237, June 7, 1996, Caesars Palace, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Won WBC super lightweight title. 21 win 21-0, Daryl Tyson, KO 210, 238, Feb 9, 1996, Caesars Palace, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. 20 win 20-0, Jesse James, Leia, RTD 12, 30. Death 15th, 1995, Madison Square Garden, New York City, New York, U.S. Retained WBO lightweight title. 19 win 19-0, Gennaro Hernandez, RTD 6-12-3, Sep 9, 1995, Caesars Palace, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Retained WBO lightweight title. 18 win 18-0, Rafael Ruelas, TKO 12, 143, May 6, 1995, Caesars Palace, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Retained WBO lightweight title. One IBF lightweight title. 17 win 17-0, John Molina, UD 12, Feb 18, 1995, MGM Grand Garden Arena, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Retained WBO lightweight title. 16 win 16-0, John Avila, TKO 9-12, 107. Dec 10th, 1994, Grand Olympic Auditorium, Los Angeles, California, U.S. Retained WBO lightweight title. 15 win 15-0, Carl Griffith, TKO 3-12, 102. Nov 18th, 1994, MGM Grand Garden Arena, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Retained WBO lightweight title. 14 win 14-0, Jorpaz, KO 2-12, 039, Joel 29th, 1994, MGM Grand Garden Arena, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. One vacant WBO lightweight title. 13 win 13-0, Giorgio Campanella, TKO 3-12, 222, May 27th, 1994. MGM Grand Garden Arena, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. Retained WBO junior lightweight title. 12 win 12-0, Jimmy Brettel, RTD 10-12-3, Mar 5th, 1994, Grand Olympic Auditorium, Los Angeles, California, U.S. One WBO junior lightweight title. 11 win 11-0 Narciso Valenzuela 25, Oct. 30th, 1993, America West Arena, Phoenix, Arizona, U.S. 10 win 10-0 Angelo Nunez RTD 4-10 3-0, Aug. 27, 1993, Wilshire Hotel, Beverly Hills, California, U.S. 9 win 9-0 Ronaldo Carter TKO 6-10 2-10, Aug. 14, 1993, Casino Magic, Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, U.S. 8 win 8-0 Troy Dorsey RTD 1-10 3, June 7, 1993, Thomas & Mack Center, Paradise, Nevada, U.S. 7 win 7-0 Frank Avler TKO 4-10 2, May 8, 1993, Caesars Tahoe State Line, Nevada, U.S. 6 win 6-0 Mike Grable UD April 6, 1993, Blue Cross Arena, Rochester, New York, U.S. 5 win 5-0 Jeff Mayweather TKO 4-8 135 March 13, 1993, Las Vegas Hilton, Winchester, Nevada, U.S. 4 win 4-0 Curtis Strong TKO 4-6 140 Feb 6, 1993, Sports Arena, San Diego, California, U.S. 3 win 3-0 Paris Alexander TKO 2-6 152 Jan 3, 1993, Hollywood Palladium, Los Angeles, California, U.S. 2 win 2-0 Clifford Hicks KO 1-6 117 Det 12, 1992, America West Arena, Phoenix, Arizona, U.S. 1 win 1-0 Lamar Williams KO 1-6 212 Nov 23, 1992, Great Western Forum, Inglewood, California, U.S. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.